for this to come on, we always go on here and we try to watch our own video so we can answer your questions.
And so happy to be here. I tried to hop on yesterday.
Yeah, she was on. She was trying.
But you were busy in here, and this room was very full.
Well, there was no way of you getting in because I just had, it was kooky in here. This studio is so small. It's tiny. Actually, you should be closer than me. You should be over here because no one wants to see me up that close.
I think, look at you in your festive jacket. You are right where you're supposed to be.
I guess I'm supposed to be here. We're coming on. We're going to try to come on every night. I can move that for you.
Thanks.
We're going to try to come on every night, even Christmas Eve, just for a little bit, because well, what the heck? We're at home. You know, we're working on a big project for one of our channels for the new year. We're wrapping that up, and we're not doing any interviews this week. But we wanted to come on and ask you different Christmas questions because every time we're on, we find out a little bit more about you. So who is that? Alex Knight. Hey,
hi,
Alex. Merry Christmas. Looking good. Alex, nice to hear from you, man. Thank you for coming on. We just try to have sort of a good time with you and just talk about different things and traditions. And this is the week where we do, think about the things that we did when we were young. I just finished doing my radio show over here, and on that I was talking about how incredibly insane, we were that last week before Christmas, driving our family completely batty because we just wanted to open presents. How many hours? Well, oh my God! And they were at home looking after us. It was freaking crazy.
In our list upon lists that we had for what we wanted for Christmas, and for me it was the old Sears catalog, wish book they had, circling all my choice selections for that year. So
yeah, we weren't allowed to even circle anything on ours because it was like, I'm surprised that they didn't keep them. Oh, our house burnt down. So in '77 we would have lost them all, but they were treasured in our family. Like it was like gold. Well, my mother always said, don't write on them. But I think we did anyway. I think everybody did. It was the good times. Christmas is better when you're a kid. It just is. What were you going to say, Sarah?
Soulful Music 100. Hi from Dublin, Ireland.
Hey.
Merry Christmas. You've been on before. Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Craig says, having a quiet Christmas. So are we. We just actually told our extended family that we're not going to be visiting this year. So
they're not visiting us.
Yeah, so we're going to play it real quiet this year. And
my mom, I talked to her today, and she was a little nervous because neither one of us can get our boosters yet. We're booked on
the end of December.
Yeah, no, New Year's Eve during the day, and our son on the 10th. So we thought we should have our boosters. And I know some people are saying Omicron is not as bad, but we started thinking, do we want to take a chance? We've lucked out so far.
We've been really fortunate.
And we moved across the country during COVID. Chase got himself a girlfriend during COVID. They're not together anymore, but they remain very, very good friends. They were together for quite a long time, like a year or something. And so through all that.
And of course, Chase had his high school years, 11 and grade 12. And of course, everything was online. Not much of a grad celebration whatsoever. So
it was
I look back from when I was that age and having to sacrifice quite a bit during that time. So hello Kim. Hello
hey, Kim.
James. Hello Shannon John. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hi. Hello Tim P. Merry Christmas to you and the kids. I hope all is well your way. Yes, thank you. Nice to be here tonight and joining John.
Yeah, she tried to come in last night. She tried to come in last night because we're in my little studio where I record my radio show because our daughter's just, I don't want to sneeze. I was doing. She knows about my sneezing fits. I'll sneeze for 75 times and I'll completely lose my voice. Then she goes, yes.
I'm like,
yes. Can't talk anymore. That's great. So I'm always, if I do this, a lot of times I will not sneeze. It started in '89. I don't know why I do it. We're going to get to our topic in a second, but we just wanted to get the pleasantries out and say hi to everybody. And we really enjoy the fact that you are willing to come on with us and talk about this kind of stuff. We'd like to do more in the new year, but what we talked about this before. We want to do maybe on a Wednesday, do a question like this, like what we're doing now, and free form on Friday, right? And or have a Friday night live where we have a guest. And I think I've told a lot of you, one of the reasons we didn't do that, we just felt a lot of pressure getting guests. Now that Shannon's kind of helping me in that area, she could probably get a lot more guests than I could because she's better at that. She did that for a living for a while, quite a while.
Snowman says, Merry Christmas,
Hey,
John
Snowman.
and Shannon and family. Nice to have you all with us here.
Christmas traditions, Shannon. What was when you were growing up? Let's start there.
First of all, growing up, we went to midnight mass. And so that was on, of course, Christmas Eve night.
Then you get to bed at 2.
Yeah, you get to bed at 2, and of course you're up at 6. You're a young kid, you're excited, the adrenaline's going, you're checking off all the check marks for the things that you wanted. And
even though we're not religious anymore, neither one of us go to church, and we try to go by the golden rule. But the thing with us is we both still love churches an awful lot. I mean, there's that feeling. Being in midnight mass was just a miraculous, beautiful, peaceful,
and
loving.
And of course the choirs. My mom was in a choir. Mom and Dad were both in a choir. So
that's where I was going.
And it was
the choir.
It was just amazing, real special time. But I think for me the other thing is that we always got to open up one gift on Christmas Eve. Now we did try it before. We opened all of them up on Christmas Eve. And
was it mayhem?
It just it wasn't the same. So one on Christmas Eve.
We opened everything. I mentioned that last night and the night before. For us, it was we just opened everything. And my parents just thought, let them have everything, and then maybe they'll leave us alone or something. My dad could enjoy his beer and just relax a little bit.
Actually, that's where we got it from, because we always, growing up, everything was on Christmas Day. And it was with you that I actually did let's do it all on Christmas Eve.
The thing about meeting someone, we met in 97. The thing about, and she grew up in a different, and you might have noticed, she's a little younger than me. She's almost 11 years younger than me. When I graduated, she was 10 or 11. Oh, that's awesome. Silence.
It's a lot of silence.
It's a lot of silence. No, I didn't date her then. So, but for me, it was the 70s when I was in high school. For her, it was the 80s. And so she has a different perspective on the music. She still knows the music of the 70s quite well because growing up in the 80s, you couldn't avoid it. It was still all over the place, right? People were still celebrating the 70s. As we were we're still celebrating the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and stuff like that. So the basic thing for us outside of partying, that was the big one. But what about for you? What were your Christmas traditions? What are things that I'd like to know, and I'd love for you to share. I'd like to know what was the biggest one when you were growing up. And if you're Jewish, your Hanukkah. We were just watching a show on the Jewish folks at Christmas and Chinese restaurants and all the things that they do, and the fact that, of course, a lot of Jewish, back then, men wrote a lot of Christmas music because to them it was, they'd say, do I want 5% of they said it in the documentary, do you want 5% of the take of a song, not a song, but the population, or do you want 95% with a Christmas song? And they went, well, there you go.
And I think, as I'm reading on here, please interview Canadian Pat Travers.
Good idea. There's a lot of people on our list. There's a lot of people on our to-do list for 2022 because I think a lot of them will have to cancel their tours. If Omicron is not as bad, some people are hinting that it might not be as bad, there maybe will, in 3-4 months, be ready to sort of go back to it and not be stupid, because a lot of people are still being incredibly stupid.
Snowman says, midnight mass and up at the crack of dawn to open gifts unless Dad yelled to go back to bed for an hour. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
But see, even though we opened our presents at Christmas Eve, we still got up, brand new toys, right? We'd only play with them for a few hours before we got knocked out. We still woke up really, really early, and does anybody? We did this quite a few times. We would have, and we're doing it again this year. We would have Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve because we can't wait because we're like that. Didn't we do that?
Well, usually we'd have the turkey, and then of course we just have a lot of leftovers on Christmas Day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah.
Yeah. She's not paying attention.
Well, sometimes we would also have ham on one day.
Yeah, but when your parents were with us mostly, her mother makes this cherry cheesecake, which is
to die for.
I mean, it's just, how can you say it's better than turkey? But just, I
It
sounded
just
French
it,
there. I
it
sounded
just
a little
it
French.
just is better.
It's better. It's like, and they're across the country right now. We miss them, so they might even be watching. Maybe.
Surfer by. Hello, John and Shannon from Boston.
Hey, you're not too far away from us. We want to visit Boston next year. I've never been. I've visited all the Western states because I lived in the West for so many years and loved visiting every year. And I was telling Shannon, I says, you know what? I've got to go. There's so many states on the East Coast of the United States. And I went, well, there's so many I want to visit. We want to go to New York. We want to go to Boston. Obviously, first we'll go to Maine because it's right stuck to New Brunswick. But yeah.
Tim P says Christmas morning and you have to have coffee and Baileys.
Oh, really?
That sounds really good.
Oh, I can't. I have this rule. I mean, I'm a Beaudin. We all love our alcohol, but I have this rule that I remember once in radio in the 80s, everyone was having a liquid lunch, and I went, oh yeah, why not? And I know you can get used to it after a while, but I felt like going to sleep. And then when I was a program director in Calgary, that's what they would do. You know, and I'd go, I can't do that. I'm running a station. I'm going to fall asleep in the middle of the. So I can't drink in the daytime. It just doesn't work for me. But I hear you. Some people, you know, that's it. Kind of gives you a little kick in the morning. It can.
Surfer by says festive jacket. Now this is, you can't see it, but he actually has matching pants that go with it.
They don't
so
fit
it's like
anymore.
A whole ensemble.
They don't fit. They don't fit at all anymore. Shannon can still wear the clothing that she had when I met her in '97. She's always been very thin, except when she got pregnant, of course. And I fed her like crazy. I kept in the middle of the night she'd say apple fritters.
Oh my goodness.
There was an all-night place in Vancouver, and I would go get her some apple fritters. I'm going to feed that girl. You know what I kept saying? Well, the doctor kept saying bigger and better. He kept saying bigger and better when she was gaining weight, and I just.
No, he called me a hardy citizen. And as I was getting towards the end, and he says, what do you like? I said, I love donuts. I love apple fritters. He says, well, how about the apple without the fritter? And
He said that?
But I knew when he called me a hardy citizen, I knew that was, I had made it to the big
Oh,
time.
you were such.
I'd made it to
You're
the big
a
time.
beautiful pregnant woman. I don't have a lot of pictures of you pregnant, but one of these days there's I think with our first, and I'm going, now that's a real woman. There you go. Yeah, that was a great picture. You were very healthy. You've always been very health conscious. So I don't know. I just want to feed her.
Maria says, hello, John and Shannon. Hi.
Hey, hello. We're hanging out. We're just
So
kind
if
of.
anybody has any like even food traditions that you have, we want to hear it all. Like some do ham, some do turkey,
And
some
side
do
dishes.
pumpkin pie, everything. There's like, Jell-O creations. There's
A lot of people do the Jell-O
cabbage
thing.
rolls.
And it depends upon where you're from. Because if you're from Europe, things are a little different there too. And I remember with your sister at Christmas, they're Iranian. They would bring over the most wonderful food in the world, and foods that I didn't have the taste for. And I'd go, where has this been all my life? Remember, Geety? Oh my! She would bring the most wonderful food, and she always looked like the queen. She was like this beautiful Persian woman who looked like she was like a royalty, dressed incredibly well, and could cook anything. So that was interesting. And then when my first wife, I always say my favorite wife, my first wife. Check 1 2.
Yeah.
She gets along with my ex-wife. They were English from Manchester, and they had very different traditions. And I was 19 and didn't know about other traditions, never even thought of it. You don't when you're 19 sometimes. So
Randall says, we do ham and green bean casserole. I've heard of that. We've never done that.
no, never done that. But it sounds good.
Surfer By says, Christmas dinner is the same as Thanksgiving dinner, but with eggnog.
Yeah.
That's very similar, for us too.
We're both lactose intolerant.
Maria says, we used to do cookies from Germany, but with COVID, we can't get them right now.
Oh, really? I'm not a big sweet tooth person. It's strange. Shannon more so.
I like sweets.
Yeah, her and the big pumpkin pies you get at Costco.
They're so good.
Basically, Danica, our daughter, she's 23 and autistic. She might have had it. She had a piece. You give me that look.
Me and Chase had a ton.
But Shannon can, but you are really good because you watch what you eat. So when you need to eat something, you can. For me, plus my metabolism's a little different. But I'll eat 2 hamburgers instead of a hamburger and a dessert. My brother's the same way, my younger brother. So we get in trouble by eating 2 hamburgers. There you go.
Tim P said, being Ukrainian heritage, Christmas Eve is meatless dinner, followed by midnight mass when we were kids.
Yeah.
See, so that's what I like to hear. Everyone's kind of little traditions that they have.
Well, remember when you're, especially most people when they're teenagers, they will sometimes just go to somebody else's place, right? Even in the holidays, because that's usually meant for families. But growing up in the 70s, that was a time, one of my best friends was German, and I had another friend who was Scottish, and they'd have slightly different skewed kind of, and they drink different things as well. And I always loved that, And then in the 90s, one of my best friends, late 80s, early 90s, not important, but he was Jewish, and not necessarily during Hanukkah as much because he did his own thing, but throughout the year I'd end up eating food that otherwise I thought, why haven't I known more Jewish people? I love their food. But that happens, right? And then you meet someone who's Indian and you eat their food, and their desserts are incredibly sugary, but everything else is really, really good.
Maria says, I live for sweets, LOL. I am with you, girl. Hike with Mike is here. Hey, folks.
Hey, Hike with Mike. He was here last night. Maria, what did you post? You posted something. What did you post? I go through, I spent like 3 hours on Facebook today. So I know you posted some food on Facebook. And again, I always say this, but if someone's watching our videos and wants to get to know us a little bit better, you can, Shannon's very private. Shannon's not, she just keeps it to a small thing because she's not on Facebook a lot. But for me, if you want to friend me on Facebook, by all means, or follow us on Rock History Music /book, or follow me on John Beaudin broadcast, or whatever the hell it's called. I forget. I did it so many years ago. I don't know. I don't remember. What's my name? What's my name? So there you go. Any more questions? People are with, one of the things Shannon says is, you sure you want to come on every night, because people are traveling a lot. And what did you put on there? Oh, Maria, yeah. Thank you for email. She gave me a contact for Steve Perry. Appreciate that. Steve's going to be a tough one, but maybe when things settle down after the Christmas album, because he was been signing a lot of stuff, which is really, really cool. I think sometimes, because I'll always ask everybody, how'd the band break up? What happened? And that's really the only tough question I ever ask anybody. But I think some people might look at what I do and say, oh, he's going to ask me that question. I don't feel like answering that. I've never heard that from someone. Excuse me, I just eat food. But if there's a breakup of any band, there's no way I wouldn't ask Steve Perry, but he's said it many times. He's described it, but I don't own those clips. I always tell the artist, I know you've said Jonathan Cain for some of the Journey hits. I know you've said this 1,000 times, but I don't own those clips. And I need you to say that, so I have a clip, if I ever need it, of you, talking about any particular song.
Hike with Mike says, Steve Perry was my singing icon growing up, and I sang with the same high tenor back in my hair band days.
Really? I love tenors, man. That's a difficult level to sing at, to do it well. So good for you. Props to you, man. Top shelf.
Soulful Music 100. Our Christmas dinner is all about the turkey with sage, onion, and sausage stuffing. In the evening, tea is served with sweet Christmas pudding and fresh cream. That sounds
sausage stuffing.
That sounds amazing.
I gotta write that down. Oh my God. I gotta look that up.
That sounds amazing.
Written down, because Shannon's always saying, why don't you have some paper in front of you? Because to go back and to try to get all these, because we don't go back and listen to these. We don't usually do that, but it's good. All I'm saying is that paper.
James says, sweet potato casserole is my favorite side. Haven't made one in a while, though. Oh, that sounds great.
She loves sweet potato.
Love sweet potato.
Yeah. There's that thing of, the last 2 years I've been, at this point of the year, I've always been trying to lose weight. And I only have it in my stomach. Not a big problem. It's not but it still makes me uncomfortable. And so it's the engorge yourself or not engorge yourself. It's Christmas, you can engorge yourself a little bit. And I don't eat that way anymore. I used to eat that way all the time. In my 20s, right? Remember in 20s and 30s, you can eat that way. And all of a sudden you go, oh, I can't eat whatever I want.
Rachel, hi, welcome.
Hi.
She just joined us.
Thank you. I love sweet potatoes. Yeah, Rachel. This is something, it's an acquired taste for some people. Not everyone likes that. It's kind of one of those foods. And it took me a lot. I mean, were you eating sweet potatoes when you were a kid?
Yes,
Really?
for sure.
And Brussels sprouts? Really? You were one of those kids?
I liked both, yeah.
She was bratty. She
I was
bratty.
so good.
No, she used to not beat up. That was my family. You used to boss around your older sister. How much older is she?
3 years, just
Yeah.
a little. Okay, I was a little bossy, apparently.
No, a lot
And
of
I
my
had a big mouth, and I was talking all the time, which you would never tell now.
yeah. Well, I have a history of whenever I date. I've always dated very strong women. I get very bored if I'm with someone who just goes, "That's right, John. Oh my God, you're so wonderful." I like someone who kind of puts me in my place and go, "What you just said there is freaking ridiculous." I need that because I always say I can stray a little bit. So Shannon, right off the bat, she's not shy on telling me what's going on.
And Hike with Mike, we always do Spanish
Tapas.
for dishes on
Oh,
Christmas Eve. That sounds good.
Christmas Eve. Yeah, look at that. We like hearing traditions like that. It's so cool. It's like walking into someone's house and all of a sudden saying, "We don't do that. My dad doesn't do that. Our tree doesn't look like that.
Teddy
Your
Bates.
mother's hot." Oh, no.
Teddy Bates, opening presents at midnight on Christmas.
Ah. I don't know if I'm usually sleeping by midnight. Even on New Year's Eve last year we were awake. And we heard in our neighborhood, we were in Calgary at the time, we heard obviously the what do you call it? The fireworks. They had the fireworks every year.
And Randall says green bean casserole is super easy to make. I'm sure there's a million recipes on the
Okay, I'm
internet.
looking it up.
That's because you're like a total green bean
I love green beans.
fan.
I'll just eat them out of the bag.
And
We're
Kim
getting some
says I like to make sweet potato casserole and sweet potato pie. Oh,
Sweet potato pie I've had.
that sounds amazing. Maria, we ate Brussels sprouts and sweet potatoes when we were kids. I'm going to switch over for a second. Alensar 54, just to let you know, Small Creeps Day is also my top 3 of all time. Merry Christmas.
Who said that? Oh,
Alensar
wow.
54. So we're sorry.
Thank you. I just interviewed Noel McCalla a second time because we had to work on this other project. We can't even talk about it right now. I couldn't get it up, and I'll get it up for between Christmas and New Year. We go track by track on his brand new album, so you'll be able to hear it on our sister channel as it's an amazing album. Noel's just great. I mean, I told him, I said, I can't be a fanboy because you got to be careful doing that. And the audience hates that when you do that. That's why I hate entertainment shows because everyone's a fanboy, all the reporters. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to you. And I understand that, but that's on a level of fanboyish that makes me uncomfortable. So, but talking to Noel McCalla, I had to admit to him, and he was laughing, that I'm kind of a fanboy talking to you, man.
James says, Shannon, we could hang out at the dinner table for sure. What? You probably like me have the gift of the gab, maybe.
Who said that?
James.
Yeah.
Surfer by. New tradition this year. We bought 2 Christmas trees for my 96-year-old mom. I took her out of a nursing home to live with me.
Wow.
Maybe a 2-treer from now on. We actually talked about doing. I mean, that's amazing that you have.
I can't believe you did that. Wow.
We're talking about doing a 2-treer ourselves, one upstairs and one downstairs.
Yeah, we have a walkout basement in our basement, so it's really bright. And we've always wanted a walkout. We almost bought one when we bought our last house, but the house actually was too small. And inadvertently, this is just a house that we wanted. Then we went, as an afterthought, it has a walkout basement because it's nice for the tree to have nice light and stuff like that. But yeah, good for you. It's nice that you did that.
Hike with Mike. New Year's Eve, we do a fondue meal, and I love New Year's Day because I go on a long hike with my hiking journal and reflect on all the cool places I hiked during the year.
Oh my
That's
God.
a nice time to reflect.
Good for you. We were just watching one of those Hallmark shows, and one of the things that they do. Do you want me to bring the bright? Is it too dark?
Yeah, it's fine.
Where at one of the shows where at both characters, they're going to fall in love at the end, are sitting in the back of a truck looking at a mountain view, which looked like the Rocky Mountains outside of Calgary where Banff is. But it was just breathtaking. And I remember thinking, I used to hike all the time. I don't like the cold though. I'm like a little, like a 10-year-old boy going, it's cold outside. Mind you, 10-year-old boys love going outside, so never mind.
Snowman, Christmas dinner is ham, mashed potatoes, carrots, and dessert is homemade pumpkin pie.
Wow. one.
That sounds really, really similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
We like, I mean, it's all about when you're an adult. I mean, after the kids are gone, or even if they're still living with you, because our 18-year-old's still with us because he works with me and he hasn't really decided what he wants to do. I sure hope he stays for a few more years because I hate editing videos and he's very good at it and fast at it. But when the kids are gone, sometimes you end up you concentrate on the food or the grandkids. And our grandkids are, well, she doesn't have grandkids, but my grandkids are on the other side of the country. We're going to go visit them hopefully next year if we can go.
Tim P says New Year's Day is football, food, and plenty of cold ones.
Yeah. I don't really watch football, but I get it. I mean, I get it. Now and then I'll watch the Super Bowl, but I used to be the biggest hockey fanatic in the world, and I stopped watching it because I get all nerved up. I just get all, kooky.
Darren, John, are you anticipating more Jimmy buffet type shirts for
You're
Christmas?
still saying that. I used to, just before, we used to have a guy, I'll tell the story one more time. I've told it a few times. I had Kirk Hansen was a radio announcer who was on the air just before me, did the afternoon drive show, and I was doing the early evening into midnight show. And he was a hippie, and he had a really deep voice. And Kirk, I don't know why he did this. I said, Kirk, you're going to get fired. You can't do this. He would go on. He goes, that's Jimmy Buffet. That's Buffet. He'd always say, Jimmy Buffet. That's Buffet.
Jimmy Buffett.
And then, of course, every time she says Jimmy Buffett, she knows who Jimmy Buffett is. But every time she sees it written down, she says Buffet. But what about Jimmy Buffett?
Are you anticipating more Jimmy Buffett type shirts for Christmas?
I'm not sure. Jimmy Buffett type shirts?
For Christmas.
What, is this a Buffett thing?
I think this looks like.
No, his stuff is, Jimmy Buffett's
That
like a big
makes me
hippie
laugh.
too, right? But anything else we got there?
Maria, Buffett is Jimmy and buffet is food.
Yeah, that's right.
So funny.
He would just, I don't know why he would torture names of people. I'm going, why are you doing this? Well, I don't want this job. Well, I'm going, why don't you just quit? So I'm not going to write. It's exciting. I'm going to mispronounce names as often as I can.
Oh, Darren says you wear them when you introduce videos on rock history music.
Oh, yeah. I have maybe 30.
Roughly, maybe a little more.
Everyone thinks the Robert Graham shirts. I've got one Robert Graham shirt. They're like $300 shirts. I have one. She got it for me for my birthday one. She says, just so you at least have one, because his shirts are all very, very colorful. They sell his pants at Costco, but that's just a line of, blue collar stuff that they make probably a lot of money on, and their quality. But yeah, that's it. Oh, Christmas dinner will be ham. We got that one already?
Ham, tamales, mashed potatoes, Mexican rice. Christmas Eve, my 4 granddaughters will bake and decorate Christmas cookies.
Oh, that's really, really nice. We had to cancel ours because we don't have our booster shots yet. And my brother was starting to feel like he had a cold. And I went, sometimes it takes a few rapid tests to find out if you have it. I'm hoping he's okay. He's actually working tonight. But we hope he's okay. But we decided, and I talked to my mother, and my mother was coming in too with my brother and his wife. We just thought, we're not going to do it this year.
Better to call it just to be safe.
Yeah.
Right? JT Shark. Because I'm alone for the holidays, my traditions are Star Wars original series on the 24th, Goodfellas, Godfather 1 and 2 on the 25th, and the 26th I watch Quentin Tarantino movies.
Oh, and nothing wrong with that. I've done the solo thing before. Well, you've always had a circle of a lot of friends, so you've never done the solo thing, right? Yeah, Shannon always had a big circle of friends. French. What?
Rachel says last month was my birthday. Well,
Happy birthday. Well, last month was her birthday. Happy birthday, Shannon.
Thanks.
And our son?
Lots in November.
And my daughter on December 3rd, my son on November 1st, and then the 10th. Yeah, kooky.
Snowman says, John, do you follow the Canadian Football League?
No, I was given seasons tickets in Calgary 3 times. I was at that station for 5 years, ran it for half the time I was there. And we never went to one game. I ended up giving the tickets to somebody, I forget who. Seasons tickets, and you get the little Stampeders thing, little to put on your car. Shannon wouldn't let me put it on. You're not putting it in our car.
Nope.
Now I look back and I'm going, glad I didn't do it.
Maria says Christmas dinner will be steak, sweet potato, and banana cream pie for dessert. Oh, that sounds really good.
Banana cream? When's the last time we had that? I'm writing that down. Banana cream. Oh.
JT says here in the UK, all New Year's things are being canceled.
Yeah. Brian Adams was canceled at my station that I work for is in Vancouver, the other side of the country, and Brian Adams was just canceled. So we were almost out of it, it seems. If Omicron, obviously you can get it a lot easier. It's not going to be pretty, but there's a slight possibility of what's coming out of Africa. You start going, well, maybe it will disappear a little faster. I mean, I think they're probably almost hesitant to say that because people are going to go, oh, what the heck? Have a beer. I'll drink after you in your bottle.
Surfer By is asking, your son still playing drums? Yes, actually he did today, and it was pretty loud.
Oh, he was doing the halftime shuffle.
Good stuff.
He was doing Girl Goodbye. He was doing the halftime shuffle from Rosanna. He was doing the Fool in the Rain, Purdy, and then the kind of the Purdy shuffle, Fool in the Rain, John Bonham shuffle. He loves shuffling, something I could never do as a drummer. I wasn't very good at it. He was doing a little bit of Rope by Foo Fighters. I could tell the beats he's doing. He was doing Crash and Burn by April Wine, which is a pretty fast song. And some of the drum fills in Tom Sawyer, he was doing that today. So he was really getting back to it. But he hadn't drummed in it. It's the longest time since we've been here that he hadn't drummed, other than when the drums weren't set up because we were unpacking. Yeah. So he drums a lot. His drumming is at a really high level. I'm really proud of him. He's a good kid, too. I mean, he's an 18-year-old kid. He's never really gotten in trouble.
We've been really fortunate.
He's a nice kid, he's smart, handsome boy. Works with me all the time, every day. Chase, I need this. Someone dies for our channel Nail Sheet, which is our entertainment channel. Please subscribe to it. If someone dies, he'll go, Dad, you need a background for it because I don't go on camera on that channel. I said, yeah, no problem. By the time I voiced it in this room, I go out there, he's got the whole thing done.
Darren says, John, are you familiar with Bernie Labarge? Had a hit in 1981 called Dream Away.
Yeah.
I'm not sure and he says, I'm not sure what I'm doing for the Christmas holidays.
Yeah, I remember Dream Away. We used to play it at the station I had called 96 K-Light. And that was sort of yacht rock before it was called, I can't bend anymore. So we played a lot of yacht rock at that station, Christopher Cross, Linda Ronstadt stuff. We played Toto a lot, but all the things that are called yacht rock now. I don't like that term. Don't like it at all.
Hike with Mike. I went to school with Michael Clemens. He played for the Toronto team and is in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't follow it. I've been to Edmonton Eskimos games at Commonwealth Stadium, that beautiful stadium. Look it up if you don't know it. I've been to many concerts there as well. I trying to think if I've gone to a BC Lions game because I've lived in 3 major Canadian cities. I moved away from home, which is in this province I lived. I moved to Edmonton, and then I moved to BC where I met Shannon in 97, and then we moved to Calgary, and now we're in Moncton. So we've hopped around a little bit.
Yeah, we've done 3 provinces now.
Been okay.
Yeah. Marcus, hello and Merry Christmas from Sweden. Jerry says hello and Merry Christmas from Scotland.
Oh, wow. Hi. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Merry Christmas, everyone, by the way.
JT Shark says Adams has COVID again. So we're talking about Brian Adams, I would assume.
I didn't know that.
He's had a few times.
No, I
Two
think.
times? Second time?
Well, this is the second time.
Okay.
But we had, because of my working for Bell Media, every day we get inter-office memos and stuff. And I just read that he had canceled it because I wasn't coming on to do a thing on it because I don't really do a lot of those. In the new year, by the way, we're going to get back into news. When something breaks, if Jimmy Page says he doesn't like these 10 Zeppelin songs, I mean, I'll come on and talk about it. The thing about doing that is people who don't know the channel, who'll go on for the first time, and it started bugging me, will go, oh, why don't you just get your own interview and stuff? And I'm going, geez, check the videos we've got. Almost every video we have is an interview. You know, it's not like we can't get interviews, maybe not Robert Plant, though his manager did get back to me, like within half an hour when I emailed him and said, Robert's not promoting that reissue of his solo albums. Or unless he wasn't doing it for me. What the hell?
Getty says, Christmas Eve dinner is humble. 12 food items, none hot, several variations of fish. One place at table is set for those who cannot be with us.
I always think
living
that's
with us or not living
That's
with us.
admirable. I think that's really nice. When you're young, you know, the traditions sometimes, you know, I used to always say I'm not high on traditions. But as you get older, of course, they become more important. You know, by the way, I showed them your picture last night.
Oh.
You know, when you're putting your shoe on.
Tim P. AC/DC was great in the
They
rain.
really liked it.
Thanks. AC/DC was great in the rain at Commonwealth Stadium.
Oh, is that right? When was that? Because I left Edmonton in '89. I moved in '79, and I left in '89 and went to Vancouver to work for CFUN, and then start a new age station, which was on QM/FM. Oops, you're going to hear a bang on this station. I showed this last night. And now they're called Move, but I'm still there after I joined since 1990. It's rare in radio to stay on the same station, and I feel very fortunate.
Darren says, John and Shannon, do you have any favorite Christmas albums?
I like the Elvis, you know, the one with Blue Christmas. I like that Christmas album. There's a band out of Toronto or Ontario someplace. I've got to play it because now my turntable works, called Carillon. And they released Christmas music, and I like that. I like all the Windham Hill stuff. Mostly I listen to the station I work for in Vancouver because they play a lot of the stuff that I like. Not everything, but you can't please everybody. We listen to XM, Sirius. We listen to a lot of those things. We just discovered the R&B Christmas channel.
Which is
wow,
really good.
Is it ever good? Bill Withers playing a song I had never heard of in my life. I went, this is cool.
It's kind of nice so that you can kind of tune into not just the classics, but
Yes.
variations, right?
Yeah.
So it's,
Oh, the first Perry Como Christmas album I have on CD, LP, and it was the one that my family had growing up, and that's probably my all-time. And he's a crooner, and crooners do Christmas really well, right?
Kevin Still, my number one Christmas tradition is to listen to my collection of the Beatles Christmas messages that they released from 1963 until 1969. That is before anything else.
I've got all of them. We used to have a radio station. Shannon and I were hosting it. We were the morning show, and we had a few other musicians helping us out doing it. Not necessarily people you'd know, but they were professional musicians. They were hosting other day parts, and we would air the Beatles Christmas things during the Christmas season when we went all Christmas. There was, I think, maybe a week before Christmas, we went all Christmas. It was fun. We loved doing that radio show. It was a lot of fun. It was called Rock History Book, which is named after our other channel. And because we thought we were going to have to pay a crap load of music for artist rights, we just shut it down. But I miss doing that show an awful lot. I wish we could still do it. We might do it someday again.
Darren says, my mother played the Boney M Christmas album all the time. Yes. Yes.
She loves it.
Then it was the Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton one from the early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say Boney M. That was pretty big for us.
What's that song where the male singer, and I don't know the members of Boney M, is it? Does he? Oh, it'll come to me. He says Santa Claus or something really strangely the way he pronounces it. I don't know. I haven't heard it actually this year. That's why it's not coming to mind. But they have, you know, they're German, and they have, as far as I remember, they're German, right? They have different ways of pronouncing words. And sometimes they'll leave them in because they're neat. You ever notice sometimes there are songs from our past, you can't tell the way they sing them, but the way they say the word, even though it's wrong, sounds so neat, they keep it in.
James says, love that Robert Plant has done another album with Alison Krauss.
Yeah. He sounds so different, though, doesn't he? He doesn't, I mean, of course, he couldn't sound like the guy from Zeppelin, but he just sounds like a different guy a lot, which I love.
Barry says, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
And Ryan Cornell, I got an Atari $2,600 for Christmas in 1982.
It was the top present. We were talking about them yesterday on our feed. I think. Oh, sorry, Shan. I've got them here. Hold on. I think this is it. Might be it. Hold on. My computer's really. Oh, that's the Christmas songs. No, I don't have it. Christmas songs. Hold on. No, that's Move 103. Overrated singers. These vocalists don't live up to the hype. Oh yeah, that's something I went into last night. I always go into Yahoo News before I go on the air, and a few other sites just to see what's going on. Because we watch news a lot on in our house, but I don't want to miss something before I go on the air.
And Rachel says, I got a Kenny G Christmas album.
A lot of people rag on Kenny G. We saw Kenny G in concert. We got free tickets because of the station I worked at. And let me just get it out of that. And I didn't mind, when he does that circular breathing thing, for the holding the note. And a lot of people say that's a cheap trick. But I don't know. Oh, there we are. Look at.
Getty says, Boney M, Daddy Cool was big hit in Quebec.
Daddy Cool was the small radio station where I grew up. And I didn't know who Boney M was, of course, at that time. Daddy Cool was premiering at the small local radio station where I lived in Newcastle, which is now called Miramichi, Northeast New Brunswick. And I remember going, oh, we've got this great new band and this song's coming up. And I remember thinking it was ominous sounding. I thought, wow, this is cool. And then that was it. Then we were all glued going, who are these guys? Yeah.
Snowman says, I'm watching Miracle on 34th Street on Christmas Eve.
Good move. We just watched The Holiday. Last night was Love Actually. We watch a lot of Hallmark stuff. There's some that are a little too... There's a few Hallmark actors and actresses who are just a little too much. We can't watch them. Like, I won't watch anything with what's her name? Cameron Bure? Cameron, what is it?
Candace.
Yeah, she's just she's a little too right-leaning for me. But it's just some of the statements she makes, I think, are kooky. And I know that's a primarily sort of conservative group there, but we love them. They're just doing their thing. But there's some actors we really like. That guy with that thin guy, what's his name? We should know these people's names, but we don't. That guy's in everything. You know who I mean? He's got hair just like this. He's receding a little bit. He's tall. His face is very thin, but he's like the best of all of them. Candace Cameron Bure. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, I even before I knew she was very right wing, and that's fine. Everyone's got to believe in something. I just never liked watching her. There was just something about her. But I like most of them. Who's the one that? Who's the fetching girl? Who's the girl from the one I used to like? I used to watch her. The one from Mean Girls. What's the girl from Mean Girls? What's her name?
Lacey Chabert.
Lacey Chabert. Yeah. I've grown tired of Lacey. I don't watch a lot of her stuff either. But the other ones are really good. I like they pick good actors. I know that the storylines are all the same. There's a widow or a widower. Some car breaks down all the time. They're going to move. Everyone moves to the big city and decides to move back. We know it's just cliche, but I don't know. I follow. About half of them I can watch. The other half I'll go, this is too kooky.
Surfer By said, I saw Robert and Allison a few years ago. They were terrific. And he always throws a few LZ songs in at some point.
Yeah.
People still react to them.
Of course. And it's nice that he can do Led Zeppelin songs the way he wants to do them, right? Now. And I applaud him a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to afford to see Zeppelin if they got back together, with Jason on drums. I don't think I would have been able to afford it. So I don't like paying $500 for a ticket to see a concert. And now with COVID, I mean, geez, I don't know when we'll see another concert.
Hike with Mike said, since you were in the radio biz, did you ever meet Ron Diaz? He was big in the Tampa area market.
No, and that market is so far away from where I was. I was only in radio in the west of Canada, and I syndicated a show across the country for quite a few years called the Cross Canada Report. But yeah, I don't know a lot of DJs. I mean, I was offered a job in San Diego in 1989, I think it was, but I didn't have a green card. They said, well, why are you applying if you don't have a green card? I'm going, I don't know. I thought you guys did that. He said, we don't do that. It's up to you. Come on. They were offering me, I think, like $1,800 a month. It was just ridiculously small salary to do a smooth jazz, new age evening show because I was kind of one of the leaders at the time of doing that in Canada. Until smooth jazz just became, I couldn't take it. It was too much.
James and Rachel both say they watch a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies and access 2084 Christmas traditions when I was younger. Animated specials, traditions now, trying not to be irritated at people for a few days. As I get older, it gets harder. We hear you on that one.
We were just reading a thing today on what to say to people who are heavily into conspiracy theories and be ready for them to say, well, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but they come in pairs. No one only believes in one. And there's exceptions to that rule, and how to talk to someone who thinks the world is flat and to basically listen to them and show them that you have respect for them as a human being, but not necessarily for their viewpoints. It's difficult when someone says something just completely outrageous and you're going, where did you hear that? Well, I'm just kind of curious where you heard that. Well, and then reluctantly they may say Fox News or something, some, weird kind of outlet that's heavily leaning to one area. You got to be balanced. But I mean, the worst ones, I mean, I have a lot of Republican friends and that's okay. And we don't argue about anything. But when you start saying the world is flat, you got to scratch your head and going, come on. And then the anti-maskers, they're not asking you to do a lot. They're not really asking you to, it's not a big deal. Just put a mask on.
Ryan Cornell, this is, of course, off topic, you guys.
Okay.
But do you think Dennis Deyoung and Styx will ever reunite?
No. No, after I talked to Dennis Deyoung a few months ago, I kind of got, in the beginning of the interview, it was nice because he said, I asked about you. I asked for you. I said, yeah, I know. And I thank you very much for that. I mean, it means a lot to me because he watched my videos and I tried to get him before and I couldn't get him. Then he came to me. He said, I'll be perfectly honest with you with everything. He said, I always am, but I just want to let you know. I said, well, thank you very much. And he kept saying, John Beaudin, how you doing? Nice to be here talking to you. So it meant a lot to me because Dennis is one of my heroes in music. But when he just said, he was not, he said, listen, I get the call, I'll do it right away. And it's on this channel if you want to look at it. But it's not going to happen. If you like Dennis, go see him solo. He puts on an amazing show.
Marcus says the Jethro Tull Christmas album playing right now. Great stuff.
Hey, yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking about the hare who lost his spectacles today. I wanted to play it for my son. He hasn't heard it since he was a little boy. And man, what a piece of quackery. It was not quackery. What a piece of, the imagination. I mean, Ian didn't come up with that, but it's just amazing. In the middle of this big ethic album, in the middle of it, it's broken up by the hare who lost his spectacles.
Precy is saying, John, did you listen to Billy Idol's Christmas album?
No, I'll put it down. There you go.
There you go.
I don't know if I like it. I'm not a big Billy Idol fan.
I used to like Billy Idol.
Oh, yeah. And when I was hosting, I said this last night or the night before, when I was hosting in the 80s, you used to think, let's get the radio station DJs to go to the clubs and perform and do the music. And we were all really bad at it. But they wanted us there, and they thought somehow we'd have some kind of pull like DJs in the 50s. We didn't. And I remember John Mellencamp, the Authority song, stuff like that. A lot of the fast Billy Idols would always get me out of trouble. People would just get on the floor and start dancing.
Kevin says, right now we're watching a wonderful Christmas show. You folks are doing a very good presentation. Thanks for your talents. You're making people feel part of the festivities. Thank you.
Well, thank
especially
you.
Johnny and his very festive.
Shani at the time said to me, she said, you're not really going to buy that, are you? And I said, yeah, I'm going to buy it.
Like the set, right?
And she knows. It comes with a set. I can't wear the pants anymore. Too tight. But she knows when I give her that look and I'll go, I need to get this.
He needs it.
And I don't say that very often.
He needed the happy holidays, Merry Christmas, ho, ho, ho on there. I mean, there's a lot going on here.
I wear it every year.
There's a lot going on.
I never did wear it at your Christmas party because she worked for a new home builder in Alberta, in Calgary. And I just thought, I don't know if I can wear it. And every year we go there and someone's wearing some crazy thing way worse than this. but I never did wear it. There's a red one I wear. A lot of folks have commented on it. I bought that actually in Winters in Vancouver when we were visiting Vancouver, our old hometown. That everyone seems to love. Everyone loves that shirt. Blazer.
Snowman, watching you folks and Home Alone 2, great night.
By the way, was anybody's reaction to those Home Alone movies? Well, you and I talked about this, that when I first saw them, I'm going, these are way too violent. Do they need to be this violent? These guys would have died like in 5 minutes less. And then you get used to it, right? You get climatized to it. You've just seen it so many times. Excuse me, sorry. And you know how it's going to turn out. So, boy, you gotta.
Rachel says, I'm making a musical movie.
What?
That's just what
You're
said.
making one?
She says, I'm making a musical movie.
Like, say more. You're writing one?
That's all that we know. Gerald Lee, John, what do you think of folk singer-songwriter Nancy Griffith? I just found out that she died in August at the age of 68.
Yeah, it's such a unique voice. And I got into her, I think it would have been the 90s. I'm trying to think. I always look at breakups. After that breakup, I was more open to music. And yeah, it was in the 90s. Yeah, that was a shock. We're discussing whether we want to do folks that we lost in 2021. And I mean no disrespect because we cover them when they pass, but it's usually a lot of work for not a lot of hits. But having said that, I might do one live. We should just do one live and go through and let's do that. So in between Christmas and New Year, we'll have the list. And I've got, stuff to say about each one of them, but we'd like for you to do the same thing. So we'll go through, we'll do one live. That's what we'll do. Yeah. What do we got?
Randall says Paul Carrick.
Yeah.
With the...
What's the SWR band?
It has a lot of good Christmas songs and videos.
I'm very bad at figuring out when people use initials.
Rock Child of the 60s. Greetings, John and wife and peeps.
Peeps.
Welcome.
Hi.
Okay, James is saying, okay, question. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not?
No, it's not a Christmas movie. It's not a Christmas movie at all. No.
I mean, others can join in here and give their...
But you could say, remember, you were saying this last year, you could say, you take out the Christmas trees, the fake, the Christmas trees and the fake snow and a lot of Hallmark shows, and they could be like their Easter show. Or Shannon was saying that. She said, do you ever get a feeling they haven't really nobody's mentioned Christmas in like 45 minutes? So there you go. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Oh my God!
For the SWR band, it's a German orchestra.
Oh, I'm not familiar with them. I interviewed Paul, of course, this year. It was a great interview. Such a nice guy. I didn't want to go into, because he plays with Clapton, I didn't want to go into Clapton seeming like he's a wingnut, but, and it wasn't the place, because I was there to talk about, Clapton came up a few times. We talked about all the things he's been in, Ace and Mike Rutherford's Mike and the Mechanics and a whole bunch of Madness. He says being in Madness was like Madness because they were like a bunch of kids, and Squeeze.
Okay, we've got SRH and Rock Child of the 60s. They're both saying, okay, guys, yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Don't you guys know anything? And oops. Saying Merry Christmas doesn't make it a Christmas movie, says Maria.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not about Christmas. But again, going back to the Hallmark shows, if you take away the fake snow, I can't say that enough because we've watched, since she said that last year, we have watched and said, okay, let's watch this one and let's see what. But they've gone out of their way on a lot of them now to say, oh, we have our traditions. Oh, by the way, I'm a widower. I lost my job. I'm in the big city. My car won't start. Oh, there's my ex-boyfriend.
But Darren's going to chime in here.
Okay.
A lady friend said that the Die Hard movie appeared on her Netflix Christmas recommended list.
Oh, it does.
Though.
It does. No, it does. I know.
The Wikipedia entry for the movie explains this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. I would never watch Die Hard during. That's my thing. I don't feel like watching a movie like that. Bruce Willis was fantastic in it. I mean, his fare these days is not very good, but.
Tim P says Scrooge with Bill Murray is a classic.
Yeah. He ad-libbed so much of that stuff. And it works, and on some levels, when I first watched it, and there was a part of me that first watched it, I went to the theater to see it, and I remember going, I could tell he's ad-libbing, and it's kind of funny because it's Bill Murray, but I still watch it. Whatever. What'd she call him? Lumpy. She calls him Lumpy, doesn't she? Yeah.
Getty says, thanks for all you do. You are both much appreciated.
you.
Have a great Christmas, maritime style.
Yes.
Thanks, Getty.
We will.
For
I mean,
sure.
it's basically not too. We're going to wrap it up here. It's not too maritime for us because we're still basically keeping our traditions. I mean, we know our neighbors; they're all really nice to us. You can't walk around this. You can't walk around this neighborhood without someone saying hi to you. It's impossible. Everyone's going to say hi to you, or sometimes in French, but usually in English. There's a lot of French people, a lot of retired people in this neighborhood. They're all really nice houses. They take good care of their houses. The second we moved here, even though our house looks nice, we're getting our siding done next year. We're going to make sure it's up to snuff. It's really friendly, but we can't go to anybody's house to sort of get.
Let's get a few more in here before we sign off. Alan Carr, 54, top 2021 in the rock and roll scene. Nick Collins, what are your thoughts? Merry Christmas again. Love your channel.
Is Nick the guy who's drumming with his dad? Is that his name? I can't. I've got a mental blank. Or is the other guy, the older guy who's? I interviewed him actually, and I thought I was going to be on the phone. Phil's older son. Someone's going to tell me. Is Nick the guy who's? I don't really pay attention to Genesis too much anymore. I'm talking to Steve Hackett again. I think for like the 7th or 8th time in January. And hopefully Randy Bachman. That's not Genesis, I know, but anyway.
Surfer By said you should try to get an interview with Brian May.
I don't know if I could. He's got COVID. His symptoms are very mild, he says, because of his shots. And he's very appreciative of that. A lot of people have reached out to him, and I would like to try. I think he'd be open to it. Shannon's going to get on the horn and start doing these things for me because I'm not good at trying. A lot of the interviews I get, they come to me. And I've got a few publicists, maybe 5 or 6 that I work with, and they know our channel's popular. You're not so much this month because during December hits always go down. For us, they don't go down for everybody, but they go. They're not. We don't do well in December.
Marcus is asking, have you listened to Chris Squire, Alan White, "Run with the Fox," released as a 7 single in 1981, a Christmas song in typical Yes fashion?
No, I have.
Write that down.
I'll write it down.
Matthew, hey John and Shannon, wishing you both a very blessed Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Matthew. I'm going to see REO Speedwagon at Freedom Hall, Johnson City.
Oh, cool.
On February 21st.
Have fun. I've never seen them. I don't know if I've ever had a chance to see them.
Ryan says, enjoyed your Little River Band interviews from a while back. I agree with you. That Middleman is a great song.
Yeah, such a... the harmonies in Middleman really hit me. I was just watching one of those murder shows, where they're trying to, from the ID network, and the camera was going into the car, and sitting on the dash was an 8-track of all things of First Under the Wire, that album that it's from. And I remember going, oh my God, is that? And I had to pause it, and I took a picture of it, and I blew it up, and I'm going, that's the poor, and it was actual police footage. So the guy who got killed at least had that Little River Band album. Weird.
Surfer By says, thanks to both of you. Have a wonderful Christmas. James, it's been great getting to know you this past year.
Thank you.
Blaze, Brother John, and Sister Shannon, thank you for all that you do. Definitely enjoyed the John Lodge interview. Merry Christmas and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're always nice with your comments. I appreciate it.
Melody R, Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year from Saskatchewan.
Right on.
And Snowman, good night, folks. Take care and Merry Christmas. You too, Snowman.
Saskatchewan's handling it well right now, the COVID. They're doing a good job. Or is it Manitoba? It's Saskatchewan, right? Yeah, Saskatchewan. Yeah, Manitoba does well. But
well, thank you, everyone. We've enjoyed ourselves here tonight.
I don't know what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but we'll come back on just the random questions. We just enjoyed hearing about. She's nuts about Christian. She loves this. She always, when we're walking, and I'm sure all of you do too. When we're walking outside in the dark, she's always going, "Oh, look at their cupboards. Oh, that's it. Oh, I like what they've done."
And I love going out at nighttime to look at Christmas lights.
Yeah, we do. But anyway, okay.
Thank
Mikhail,
you. Yeah,
thank you.
you guys do a great job. Thanks for all you do. And
Oh, I'm actually writing what you say?
I'm actually writing my movie out.
Oh,
Well,
good.
all the best to you. We'd love to hear more.
Yeah, tell us more. And you know, and if you're doing it, at one point we'll interview you on our entertainment channel. We'll talk about it. But
And Maria says, Merry Christmas, John and Shan. Thanks for all you both do. Thank you for joining us as well.
we'll be back tomorrow night.
Thank you for your company. And we'll be back tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Thanks, Shen.
Bye. Thank you.